Back to that Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.
And we're back from New York. Kevin McCullough, glad to have you with us, and so glad to have my guest, Jackie Toberoff, back with us, a former candidate for city council in New York City. Those of you in Tallahassee, I know you're sitting there going, well, why are you having her on, Kev, if she just ran for a local office? Because she has a book that's coming out that is going to apply to every mom across the board, no matter what part of the country you live in. We're going to get into that in just a second. But she writes for Human Events, and this particular issue that she's written about, talking about the kind of unionization of private schools, is something that everyone needs to be aware of. Jackie, you said before the break that if the private schools get unionized, it essentially ceases to make a distinction between what public schools and private schools would be getting. Surely the private schools understand this and know that as long as they're not taking public money, they don't have to do this. Why are the private school managers, the administrators in these places, even open to it?
That's the million-dollar question. The only thing that makes any sort of sense is private schools are feeders to Ivy Leagues. And perhaps they want to appeal to their parent body that wants these schools to continue sending their children to Harvard, Yale, etc. And those Ivy League schools demand a certain amount of CRT, DEI, and woke ideology so that these kids that are coming in are primed. It's very difficult to indoctrinate someone who is 18, 19, who has been taught to be a critical thinker. Yep. It's very easy to get someone that from the age of 5 has already been sexually exploited and hyper-focused on race.
Well, it goes a long way towards my friend Dennis Prager's viewpoint that the modern university is really more or less useless now. And what we need to be focusing on is traditional education and getting people to think properly. It's amazing what a few people who have been able to think well but did not go to college have been able to accomplish. I'd like to see a lot more of that down the road. Read her at Human Events. That's where she is published regularly. And then follow her on Instagram and Twitter and whatever other outlet. Are you on Truth Social as well?
I am, but I haven't been on in a long time. I'm
quite all right.
And Twitter.
Yeah, so just look for Jacqueline Toberoff wherever your favorite social media is. And if she's not on it, send her a note and say, hey, you need to be on this one. Jacqueline, you've got a book coming out next month, and I love the title, Super Moms. What's the concept behind the book, and why'd you write it?
Okay, so the title has kind of shifted. I'm in my second round of edits, so let me just read it. It's Super Moms Activated, 12 Profiles of Hero Moms Leading the American Revival. I wrote it because starting in 2020, the veil was lifted and all of these mothers activated. They have started the American revival. These are mothers that have impacted policy, effectuated change. They have lobbied, they have started advocacy groups, they have brought this fight against CRT before legal apparatuses. They've started their own schools. And what's happening is it's like a prairie fire. It's metastasizing. And this is really the only movement that matters, protecting our children and the American revival. So I focused on these 12 moms. They are absolute powerhouses. One of them is Tina Descovich from Moms for Liberty. Another one is Kimberly Fletcher from Moms for America. Another is Astra Namani, who is a best-selling author. She's one of the moms that stormed the school board and who is bringing the fight against CRT to the Supreme Court. And if she wins, it will set precedent. I interviewed Sarah Gonzalez from The Blaze, who is famous for disrupting the drag queen reading hours for all ages, and other moms are in the book, but these are just powerhouses that have not stopped. They have risked everything from cancellation to being thrown out of their jobs, their schools, relocation, and they are fearless.
I've noted that at certain points in particularly women's lives, when they get to that stage where they really have the veil pulled back, for you it was 2020. For a lot of people, it was 2020. It wasn't that our government institutions only then became corrupt and started doing bad stuff. It was that we started seeing it for the first time. We started seeing what our educators were teaching our kids through the Zoom lessons that they were taking, and they were horrified at it. And there is something very powerful about what you're tapping into here, because when moms who have gotten to that stage where their kids are pretty independent and they're not necessarily in need of them for every minute of every day. And they have the ability to use time to go and work on things that they strongly care about. Magic happens. And that's what you've captured in the stories of the 12 women that are in your book, Super Moms. And I want people to pre-order it. Go to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, order your copy now so that when it comes out next month, you've already got it in your hand like the day that it comes out. Jacqueline Toberoff, so good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Kevin McCullough, live from New York, and we return.
Ready or not, he'll be right back. That Kevin